Okay, I make that time, so I think we're ready to go. So welcome to our GraphConnect Europe 2017 preview meetup / ticket raffle. So as you can see on the bottom of the screen, hopefully we've got a lot of people with us today. So we've got a few Neo folks, and then we've got a couple of people from the Neo community who are speaking at GraphConnect. Are going to join us and tell us kind of what they're talking about and what they're excited about at GraphConnect. So I guess I'll start with me. So my name is Mark. So I work on the developer relations team at Neo, and I think this will be my 4th or 5th GraphConnect that I've been to. Right. So who's next? So let's go over to Michael then.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Michael. I'm also doing developer relations with Mark and having lots of fun helping people for Neo4j. And I just counted; it's my 11th GraphConnect now.
It's going to be tough to beat that one.
Quite a number. Okay, Jesus would be next, right?
Right. So we are here in the London office, and there's 3 of us. I am Jesus. I'm part of the developer relations team as well. It's going to be my 3rd GraphConnect as a Neo employee, but I attended 1 more just before joining. So I would say that's my 4th. And well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that now or maybe later. What's our involvement in GraphConnect this year, or should we leave that for later?
Yeah, don't do the whole meetup in the first minute.
Okay, that's fine. That's number 4 for me, and Jesus, developer relations, and we have Angelica and Peter here.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Peter Caillot. I'm a senior consultant at Neo4j, and I'll be joining my 3rd GraphConnect as an employee, but I did 1 before that in San Francisco. So the 3rd one in London, and 1 before in San Francisco, where I did a talk when I was still an employee at my previous company where I introduced new technology.
And I'm Angelica. I'm part of our marketing team with their digital marketing manager. And this will be my 2nd GraphConnect. So I've been to the one in San Francisco, and this is my 1st in London.
Do you want to quickly explain the raffle, Angelica, that we're going to be doing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be doing a raffle about halfway through the meetup. So for those of you who left your email when RSVPing on meetup.com, thank you. You've been entered for a chance to win a free pass to GraphConnect this week. So I'll be announcing about 10 names if you just stay tuned for that. And then if you forgot to leave your email when RSVPing, don't fret, it's not too late. Just tweet at us with #GraphConnect and let us know why you're excited to join us on Thursday at GraphConnect Europe 2017. And I'll be picking a few more winners later today. That's it.
Cool. Where should we go? Let's go over to the left of the screen. So Adam.
Hey, so my name's Adam Cowley. I'm a full stack web developer. I'm a founder of a company called Commit, who are a multi-discipline development house. So this will be my 3rd GraphConnect now. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun, the biggest one yet.
Cool. Yeah, we're excited. All right, let's go over a bit to the right. So Dom.
Hi, I'm Dom Davis. I'm CTO of a company called Tech Marionette. This will be my 2nd GraphConnect. I don't like traveling out of Europe, and I'm going to be giving a lightning talk during this talk.
Cool, Karen. Oh, you're still muted.
I'm Karine. I'm the community manager for the developer relations team at Neo4j, and I'm still new, so this is actually my 1st GraphConnect. So I'm very excited.
Welcome, really cool. Glad to have you there.
And finally, we got Praveena.
Yeah, hi. This is going to be my 3rd GraphConnect, 2nd time speaking, so I'm quite excited for that too. I work with Neo as a software developer on the operability team. So.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So now we're gonna go over to Michael. So we'll just get you presenting.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, can now.
Cool. Okay, cool. So it's not just GraphConnect. There's a lot of stuff happening this week. So lots of Neo4j people will be there. Lots of other people coming from all over the continent and the world joining us in London this week. So we start the week off on Wednesday with the Graph training, which is almost like 300 people sign up for 5 different training classes. If you haven't, you can still do it. We have introduction training, advanced Cypher training, we have recommendation training, production training, and much more. And it will be a full house, and you can learn a lot. And if you want to be there. On the same day, it's also an open Cypher meeting as well, with about 30 attendees, which is really, really amazing. And in the evening, we do a graph hack at the same venue at Skills Matter here. We will work on journalism topics. So if you haven't registered yet, come there. It's free. You can win awesome prizes. We prepared some cool stuff and have some really good data sets. And we have real journalists, data journalists there, which help us with the hackathon and the content and the data.
Yeah, we've even got a T-shirt with a graph on it if you win.
Yeah, that's true. Really cool well-designed T-shirts. And then, of course, we have the conference, and the conference is not just the talks, but there's also lots of stuff around the conference. So for once, we have graph clinics where you can come and ask all your questions, all the tough questions that are too hard to write, and our field engineering team and some of the Neo4j engineers will be there to help you with all your questions. We have enough stuff on the floor to help everyone. It's almost like an Ask Me Anything, so it should be there. Something else that's not on the site here yet, but which is really brand new and we're super excited about, is the developer relations team created, or was given the ability to create their own developer zone on the first floor of the Queen Elizabeth Center. So if you want to hang out with fellow developers, want to see demos, want to try out a new Neo4j sandbox, ask us stuff about decentralization, or try out the latest features of Neo4j, come to the first floor for the dev zone. We'll also have several journalism exhibits, Trump World and Panama Papers, and have some data journalists there from the ICIJ, from OCCRP, and so on. So that would be cool. Then, and after the conference, we will have a graph party from 6 p.m., I think, where we can all relax and enjoy the after day. So I hope I didn't forget anything in general. So if you look at the agenda, there's a lot of stuff. So we have tracks for how people use Neo4j in their business, how it makes a difference, how they build their applications, what was their problem, how did they solve it, what was the data modeling, what are the tough challenges that they solve with that, Cypher challenges and data model. Neo4j Deep Dive is mostly Neo4j engineers, some external folks like Johannes from Mesosphere, who talks about deploying Neo4j on Mesos. We have some open Cypher meetings there. Johan will talk about security, and we see Jesus here. So Jesus, you are the most prolific speaker at GraphConnect this year. So you will talk about RDF in the deep dive track, and about fraud detection and Panama Papers in the solutions track. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm lucky this year. So I'm doing 2 talks. I mean, the first one you mentioned on RDF and graph databases. So this is kind of a continuation of what I did last October in GraphConnect San Francisco. So I thought quite a bit of interest. So I thought it's an interesting topic. So it's a bit probably specialized, so not only about graphs, but how these 2 approaches to graph modeling and using graphs for solving problems, how they differ, how they're similar. So that should be interesting. It will be also a little bit of, don't know how much, but probably a bit of hands-on. But I will try to make it very, very driven by examples rather than just talk. And the second one is one of our probably most interesting use cases, which is fraud analysis, fraud prevention, fraud detection. And it starts with the Panama Papers, but I'm not planning to focus too much on it. There's been too much said about it, so it's a super important case for us. But I'll start from there and then move on to more real-time, more fraud-related use cases where really Neo4j excels. So that's the plan for the 2 talks. And there's one more thing I'll be doing over the next few days, which is I'll be doing one of the trainings that you mentioned already, but I'll be leading the advanced Cypher one. So
cool.
If
I like that one.
That's on the Wednesday, isn't it, Jesus?
That's Wednesday. You're right. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, for everyone who still haven't done it, you've already been playing a bit with Neo. You know the basics of Cypher, and you want to do more advanced things. That would be an interesting one to do. So yeah, that's me.
Cool. So,
Michael, before you go on to the next person, I've got a question from the chat. So this is about, can you show the relations between the speakers with Neo4j? So I think this is basically asking whether we've got a graph of the schedule. So perhaps we can
actually, right?
We definitely have, but maybe we can show it after the next person speaks, so we can.
Yeah, perhaps someone else can pull it up, and then we can switch screens so that I don't get like confused here. Yeah. So something else that I wanted to mention, actually, in the new Neo4j deep dive talk or track, we also have more in-depth talks about the new features of Neo4j 3.2, which is to be released at GraphConnect. So that's what Emil, he's doing a keynote this time, so he hasn't done one before. No, he's done a few. But it's always really cool to see him on stage and see showing what our engineers built between the two GraphConnects, and I think it's really cool stuff. So Alistair will talk about coastal cluster improvements, which are both on the server side as well on the driver side. Johan will talk about the new security stuff in 3.2. And we will see Andreas, the father of Cypher, talk about performance improvements in Neo4j 3.2 with compiled runtime and lots of other things. So this is a really exciting talk as well. And so if you want to kind of deep dive into the things that are part of the 3.2 release, make sure to go to the Neo4j deep dive track on the ground floor in Churchill. And if you go there, don't forget to pass by the first floor with the dev zone, of course. And in the deep dive track, we also have Praveena talking about how you go from relational databases or coming from relational applications and the database schemas and the database data, having it in a relational database to a graph database. Praveena, do you want to talk a little bit about your talk?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, so this GraphConnect, I'm planning to give insights on interpreting relational database into Neo4j. So I built, over a year ago, in Neo4j, we built this tool, an ETL component, which is able to interpret MySQL schema into a Neo4j database schema, graph schema as well. So if you give MySQL database credentials to it, it will be able to interpret it into Neo4j. I'm just sharing the insights while doing that piece of work on how data is represented in these two different database worlds. Apart from that, I will be helping Jesus on his advanced Cypher training track as well. I'm really looking forward to attend Andreas's talk on performance improvements in 3.2 because I heard that they did significant work there. So it'll be really cool to see what is going to happen in that talk.
Yeah. Thank you, Praveena. Oh, we forgot to ask Jesus, what other talk would you like to go to, or what?
Yeah, you're not allowed to say your own one.
Oh, right. Okay. Damn it. Well, anyway, so I was thinking maybe I'm not going to. Well, of course, I'm looking forward to the keynotes, to Emil's, but also to Jim at the end, because that's always quite fun. But I was going to say that probably I'm looking forward more than the talks and to the interaction with people, to the great conversations that you have, and learning about how people are using graphs, and that's probably what I enjoy the most out of GraphConnect.
Cool. Okay, should we talk about the raffle?
Yeah, so we'll go over to Angelica for raffle part 1.
Okay. Cool. Are we doing part 1, or we're just gonna?
Yeah. So right, here we go. Online raffle. So over to you, Angelica.
Okay, exciting. All right. So as we said at the beginning, if you left your email with us when you RSVP'd on Meetup.com, you've automatically been entered to win a free pass to GraphConnect on Thursday. So we've randomly selected 10 names here. And before I say them off, I'll just let you know if you did not leave your email with us, it's still not too late. Make sure to tweet at us with the hashtag GraphConnect, letting us know why you're excited for GraphConnect 2017. And we'll be selecting a few more winners that way as well. Cool. So if you guys want to help me with the drum roll, we'll start raffling off some of the names. Okay.
That's a big noise. The whole office looking.
Hold office is instructed now.
The first winner we have here is Antonis Giannopoulos. I hope I said that correctly. So Antonis Yiannopoulos, you can check your inbox later today, and you'll have a code that you can register at GraphConnect.com for a free ticket. All right, we have a couple more. So. Oh, thank you.
We're going to be here for like half an hour.
Yeah. Carlos Prado. So Carlos Prado, congratulations, you're going to GraphConnect. All right, let's probably cease on the drum rolls going forward, sorry guys. But the next one we have Michael Bateman, congratulations. Pablo Lasso, Terry Penagoulis, I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. We have Trevor Hilder, I feel like this is lame without the. Evan O'Brien, congratulations. Alona Gusho. Woo! And 2 more. So, and our last 2 we have Dan McGinn and Alberto De Lazari.
Good.
So,
Congratulations.
congratulations to the 10 of you. Make sure you check your inbox later today for your promotion code. You can enter that when registering at GraphConnect.com, and it'll give you the option for a free ticket as well as a discounted training if you wanted to attend that on the Wednesday. And again, for those of you who didn't win, it's not too late. Make sure you tweet at us with #GraphConnect on why you want to join us on Thursday, and we'll be rocking off a few more tickets that way. Cool. Good guys.
Cool. Thanks, Angelica. So shall I go over the graph, Michael, the schedule?
Oh yeah, please do.
Okay, all right. So let's just have a quick look at that. Just one sec. All right, so hopefully you can see this. So this is a graph of the schedule. This is created by our colleague, Rick Van Bruggen. So I've put the link for this on the live chat as well, so hopefully you can see it. And he's created a Google Sheet with all the talks in. So this is just another view similar to the one that Michael showed, but instead of a PDF, it's a Google Doc instead. And so a nice thing that Google, there's Praveena's talk. Probably find Jesus here somewhere if we keep looking as well. Didn't spot it. Oh, there we go. There you are. And so each talk has one row, and it explains which track it's on, which room it's in, which floor that's on, the starting time, and then the speaker, and then some information about the talk. And the nice thing that you can see, there's also an insane graph with everything in there. But one nice thing that Google Docs lets you do is if you go File, Download as CSV, it will give you a link where you can just process it as a CSV file. And so I think that's what Rick has done here. If I can expand it up so you can see, he's loaded the whole schedule into Neo4j by using some different load CSV commands. So you can see here, this is the link to the Google Doc, and then we create merge. It's a merges combination of create and match to make sure there's a person, create their company, and connect those together. Then do the same for the floor and the room and the track. By the way, if you're trying to look at this and it's not clear, change your resolution in the bottom right-hand corner of the stream to 720p, and then it will become clearer. Sometimes YouTube defaults to the wrong resolution. And then you've got the time slots, connects the time slots together, and then pulls out the tags for the talks. And so you end up, obviously this is not particularly easy to navigate, but then we can write queries against it instead. So for example, we can go and grab the sessions and what time they're on. We could then find the shortest path between this is Axel Morgner and Jim Weber, who's doing the keynote. And so they're connected because they're doing a talk in the same room, in this case. And if we keep scrolling down, we could then have a look. Is there a connection between the company, The Guardian, and Jim? And in this case, Jim's speaking in the same room as the data journalism panel where Elena, who works for The Guardian, is speaking. And then there's some other ones as well. And so you can take this and you can type in your own queries in here. So with that, I I think I will hand back to Michael. So, are you presenting again? I guess. Hang on. So there we go. So let's go back to Michael.
Sorry. The thing that we want to do by Wednesday is also to put this into a Neo4j sandbox, so you can start your own Neo4j sandbox with the conference schedule. And we also will have that as well in the developer zone. Okay, cool. If we continue to look over the talks, by the way, I forgot to mention what I'm looking really forward to is the data journalism panel with Helena, Laila, Meredith, and Friedrich talking about challenges of data journalism, investigative journalism. In today's age, you know that we've invested a lot of time and effort into Trump world, and we have the ICIJ with Panama Papers, and we're really excited to help journalists to do stuff there. And so that's why I'm really excited that this panel got together and will discuss with real journalists, not just us, what's in the game there. In the solutions track, Luann will repeat her really great talk on human capital management. So she's coming to London. I'm also excited about machine learning, and so I want to see what Tim talks about when he talks about decision engines with Neo4j. You already spoke about Jesus. Claudio will also talk about human resources analytics, and then we have Peter. Peter, you talk about recommender systems. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And
yes.
Where people can learn also, besides to talk more or see more about it as well.
Yes. So, one of our top use cases that we see that people use Neo4j most for is like real-time recommender systems. Well, it's not the most, but it's a common use case that people use Neo4j for. So, in the past couple of years that I'm working at Neo4j, we and the field, we actually gathered all the best practices for building such recommender systems with Neo4j, and we bundled them into a framework. And what I will be showing is I will first of all talk about what good graph recommenders should do and how you can build them, but also will show the framework that we've worked on with the field. And we will be announcing a limited private beta, so please come to our talk, and you might get an invite later on to play around with the framework yourself at this talk. And the day before on the training, I'll be giving the recommendation training. So if you want to know more about that, I also showed the framework there with the Meetup data sets that we'll be using for the training. And I guess you're still wondering what my what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to most of the talk actually, but there's the one you just mentioned from Tim Ward, who's using machine learning to create a decision engine. I think there's much more to discover in this space to combine machine learning and Neo4j. Similar to the recommender systems, of course, which is one part, but I think decision engines is also a very interesting part.
Yeah, good point. And you will also show your tool at the developer zone, right?
Yes, I will also
have a demo placed there. So when people want to try it out themselves or want to see how it works, then come to the dev zone and talk with Peter in person.
Cool, Michael. We've got from the chat one of our lucky winners who had the drum roll cannot actually get to London in time, so we're going to have to go back to Angelica for a new winner.
Okay, cool. So Angelica, over to you.
Give me a second to select another name here. The suspense.
And should we start drum rolling now, or?
I guess so. Yeah. Okay. Ready? So our last minute winner. We have Albert Villanova. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, let us know if you can't attend, and we'll have to do another one. Hopefully you can. All right, back to you, Mike.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Then, of course, always interesting data visualization, data lineage with Jean from Linkurious. And something that's kind of a bit unusual, California's largest casino uses Neo4j to optimize their planning and operations. So I remember a guy asking about casino scheduling for their staff on Stack Overflow. Perhaps that's even these guys, which is really, really interesting. And then David will also talk about a real-time recommendation engine. So lots of recommendation stuff there. So if you're into this kind of things, then I think you get a good share of information and insight there. And by the way, I was part of the group that decided for talks, and it was super hard to decide. So we got a lot of submissions, and it was really tough to select the talks for the main tracks. And that's why I'm always happy that we have additional space in the Lightning Talks track and make it possible for people to present, even if it's not a full slot. But I think it's super insightful. I always enjoy the Lightning Talks. It's very relaxing, and you get much more information in a shorter time. So, and we start with Adam, and we have Adam on the call. And perhaps, Adam, you can say what you're going to talk about, journey planning, and why you love Cypher.
Yeah, sure. So my talk is going to be all around how I modeled the journey plan using Neo4j. A few of the modeling decisions I made along the way, and there's some of the features at Cypher that really helped me out along the way.
Cool. Then Igor and probably Ryan will talk about Neo4j in the cloud, which will be an interesting new topic. We've done a little bit there, but we also made Neo4j available on Azure and hopefully soon on AWS as well as official packages. And so you will learn more about this from Igor. And then we'll talk about visualization of graphs in multi-dimensions, not just in the space that you usually do, but also in time. So Dan from Cambridge Intelligence will show us some there. And Dom, tell us more about deciphering your graph model.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be taking a bit of an opposite approach to a lot of these talks, and rather than concentrating on the cipher, concentrating on the model and being able to reason about and talk about your model. I've had a history of doing bad things to innocent graphs, and it becomes a lot easier to work out what's going on if you can actually form sentences with your data model.
Oh, cool.
We'll be looking at that. Unfortunately, the talk I wanted to go see, again, is Tim Ward's one, because I've done a machine learning algorithm with Neo4j before, clashes with mine. Mine will be far superior, so come see me. So I'm going to have to go with Jim's talk, because his closing keynotes are just always worth watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jesus was saying to me before he's gutted that he can't see Peter's talk because they're competing as well. But what can you do?
We should apply some recommendation on machine learning of graphs to the scheduler, right? I think we have to get better and the schedule. Get everyone's preferences in and then do a better schedule. Yeah, so cool. Thanks a lot, Dom. Then Sebastian from YWorks will do a visualization talk, which I'm really looking forward to, because these guys have a long history of visualizing graphs, but without graph databases. And just earlier this year, they started to work on graph visualizations for Neo4j, and within a few weeks, they had something really amazing running. So I'm looking forward to see that in action. So I recommend that to you too. The next one is also a fraud detection talk, which also collides with Jesus' talk from Darko, who has done really interesting work for several customers of ours, and has been very active in this area, a partner. And so I think you can grab a quick bunch of recipes from his cookbook. Omar from Laros, our Italian partner, will talk about graph analysis over JSON, which also includes kind of looking at document models and how you represent them in a graph database, and how you interact with document databases like MongoDB or Couchbase. So that will be also really interesting if you have to combine or want to combine the databases. Abed, who's coming from Lebanon, from Beirut, and is running the Meetup group actually, will talk about microservices. We don't have any other microservices talk, I think, at the conference, which is unusual for a tech conference these days. Right. So Abed will hold the flag for microservices, and we'll talk about how you put a graph into a microservice architecture. Gautier talks about collective intelligence. That's interesting. I don't remember too much about the submission, but it sounds interesting. Gabor, I've seen Gabor talking about this topic before at FOSDEM, and it's super interesting. It's live queries with a graph, so it's really a tricky topic where you kind of register queries with the graph, and then you get live updates from the graph when data changes. So that's pretty amazed research that went into that. Nicholas will talk about big data governance with Neo4j. So looking more, where does data come from lots of different systems and how you attract it back with the graph. Andreas is also a really interesting speaker because he's not coming from the technical side, but he comes from the humanities. So he did a conference earlier this year about graphs in digital humanities. And that was quite interesting to see how historians, linguists, and so on use graphs in all the different ways. And so he's going to talk about some of that. And then, oh, it's me. I talk about my current pastime Epoch and how you can use it to do so much more with Neo4j and Cypher.
How many procedures and functions have you got in there now?
I think we are around 350 or something like that now. So I'm working also with my friends from Laros in Italy to extend Epoch and make it better and fix bugs. And so it's getting better every day and can do more. And soon it will come with Neo4j included, I think. No, just kidding. Mano and Sarah are actually two students of Columbia University. Jesus and Will, my colleagues, went to Columbia quite often in the last last semester to run a data journalism course with graphs there. Perhaps, Jesus, you can say a little bit more about Mano.
Yeah, sure. So that was, as you say, we ran a course of the last, 3-4 months. It started back in October last year with a group of journalists, data journalists, and we selected 2 of them, the ones who had been, done more outstanding work, have a good grasp of what graphs can bring into data journalism, and they will be talking about their experience, and we will probably less on the technical side of things. They might show some of what they've done, but it's more about the journey from finding what graphs were and how they're using it, how they see them being used in the future. So I think that's going to be an interesting one. And there, we hope to get them involved as well in other activities during the GraphConnect as well. So they'll probably be around with us in the developer area and hopefully at the hackathon on the
as well. That's true. And closing off is our chief entertaining scientist, Dr. Jim Weber, with his closing keynote, and we'll see a lot of interesting puns and politics, and hopefully it will be really entertaining for everyone, and I'm looking forward to it as closing. And then we have the graph party from 6:30 to 8, and I think that's it. And then
I want to talk a bit about the graph hackathon before we finish up. Yeah. So Jesus and I have, I guess you can probably stop presenting now. So Jesus and I have prepared some data sets. So we've been having a look at what open data sets there are around data journalism in the UK, and so we've settled on a few. So there's a beneficial owner data set, so where it kind of tracks who the eventual owner of UK registered companies are. So we've got that one, and then we've got another one which looks at foreign owners of property in the UK. And from some of our initial analysis, it seems like a few of the people in there are also in the Panama Papers data set. So we reckon there could be a potential interesting combination to do there. And we're going to have 5 different winners in that hackathon. So the idea is you come in, form teams, and we'll have 5 different teams winning. And we're going to do, we've got some different categories. So first one's going to be who can come up with the best use of Jupyter notebooks. Second one will be who can come up with the best visualization based on the data. Third one, who can come up with the best lead for a story. So like something that a journalist could continue and maybe come up with something interesting to put in a paper. Next one, a combination of data sets, so maybe that Panama Papers data set and some others. And finally, who can come up with the best application of Neo4j and data journalism. And now I think Karen has got the prize, or one of the prizes to show us.
It's these t-shirts. They also get an Amazon gift card, but these are the shirts. This is the back. Oh, you see it?
Hey, cool. A hackathon winner t-shirt.
And then this is the front.
Cypher on a t-shirt.
It's pretty cool, right?
Really cool.
Yeah. So if you wanna win one of those, that is on Wednesday at 6:30 at Skills Matter. So that's up in Liverpool Street.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
You find it on via the Meetup group as well, but you can also get there from the GraphConnect page if you go to GraphHack here. Cool. I think we covered everything that we wanted to talk about. Anything else from you guys?
Have we got any Twitter winners, Angelica?
I'm seeing a couple tweets, but no winners selected yet. So check.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till we get a good number, and then we'll select a few lucky winners.
Yeah, and if you don't tweet, maybe send us an email, devrel@neo4j.com with your email, and we'll stick you into the raffle as well.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Otherwise, I guess we're pretty much done. So if you're able to come, we'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday. Thanks to all the people who joined us. So Adam, Dom, Jesus, Peter, and Angelica, Karen, Praveena, and then of course Mr. Hunger Games himself.
And Mark, you too, for organizing. Thanks a lot for organizing. Cool. Looking forward to see you all. And if you can't make it to the conference, at least come to the hackathon on the day before, so to hang out with us. And if you're at the conference, don't forget to come to the Dev Zone, of course, because that's the best place to be. Cool. If you have any questions, otherwise, also feel free to ping us on Twitter or just email us or ping us on Slack. If you have questions regarding the conference or anything else, then cool. Thanks to everyone for attending and helping us out. See you on today.
Bye. See you on Thursday.
Bye.
Yeah.